Good morning and welcome to my channel. Let's discuss about a chess game that I just played using a bird opening, which is a very interesting opening, I suppose, compared to any other opening because it's risking my king to be open in the first move, f4. And I haven't won a lot of games using this sort of opening, especially against a higher rated player such as in this example TTallas, which has a 1642 rating compared to me, who just lost a couple of games because of my stupidity, which is 1621, which has 1621 uh, rating. So let's just start with this game. f4 I started with, and d5, and from here I move my knight to f3, which is a standard safety feature that I need to do because this knight would be very useful in defending the weak king, the weakened king side. So after that, g6, I suppose the idea is trying to fianchetto the bishop and then try to control the center. I moved my pawn to c4, challenging the pawn at d. If, for example, d takes, I can simply move my e-pawn forward, for example, to e3, and all of a sudden, the black pawn that is taking this one will be very weak, so because of the bishop here. But that didn't happen. Instead, what happened was d4. Now d4 is an interesting move because it's moving forward and trying to sort of challenge, hey, you can't do anything with the center. I mean, I'm just marching forward. And of course this is a good idea if it's supported correctly. And we'll see what I do here, which is I'll just um, counter tactic or counter strategy, which is b3 and trying to fianchetto my dark square white bishop. So there will be a fight in the middle. So as you can see, bishop to g7, bishop to b2, and there is a war already trying to control the center of the game. c5, which is trying to, of course, protect the pawn at d4 and trying to gain control, strengthening the post in the middle, and then queen goes to c2 here. The reason why I move my queen to c2 is in case I move my pawn to e4, there wouldn't be this and then this, and there wouldn't be something like this, and all of a sudden I have to take using my king and it's vulnerable in the middle. I don't want this to happen, so instead I just move my queen there, so in case something happened, there wouldn't be any problem with anything at all. Now knight goes to f6. It is a move that is interesting because of course it's trying to develop the knight, and I move my pawn to e3. This move is trying to challenge the center, and then bishop goes to f5, challenging the queen there. Of course I counter or close the attack by moving my bishop to d3. d takes e3. I took the bishop first. I suppose that's the best way. So but here e takes d2, which is a mistake because I simply take back using my queen, and there's an exchange in queen. Yeah, I think I made a mistake here. I should have just taken using the knight instead of the queen. So when this one takes, I can take it back and I win a pawn here. But of course this didn't happen. Instead I make a mistake here. What I did was I just took this using my queen, and of course there's an exchange of pieces, and all of a sudden black is winning by 1 pawn after the exchange. And but I didn't give up. I simply do a long castling, and I sort of like the position here because what happened is black did castle kingside, and all of a sudden I can see the vulnerability of black, because in front of black's king there is no pawn at all. The pawn has moved to f5, and I can sort of utilize this to attack and focus my attack to pressurize black and hope that it will make a lot of mistakes from there. So straight away I just move my rook in front of the king. Rook from h goes to g1, and then knight goes to c6 here. Of course, trying to develop the knight and bring it to the game. h3. The idea is after h3 I will go g4, and of course that will sort of, trying to shake all the defenses that black has. Knight goes to b4 here, and of course I understand that it tries to sort of uh, make my defense vulnerable as well. And what is threatened here at the moment is the pawn at a with a2, and I just have to move my king to b1 to protect it. Rook at a goes to d8, of course trying to control the open file, and um, which is a standard chess textbook sort of move. g4, continuing with my plan. F takes g4, h takes g4. Now king goes to h8 here. Of course it's a good move, just in case there's any open or discovered attack, but it's still far away from happening, because I still can sort of just move around forward, and there is still a pawn there. Instead it's moving to an open file, which is the h, a semi open file, which is h, where I suppose I'll just direct my attack there then, because let's just see here. So there are two open files, semi-open files, which is G file and H file, and then E file as well, sorry, 3, and then D file. D file is an open file. So E, G, and H are semi-open file, which is soon to be open file if there are no more pawns there. So G5 was moved by me. Of course, this is like trying to sort of pressurize and then move the pawn forwards to make sure it's gonna be dangerous. Knight goes to h5, avoiding the pawn menace, and of course bishop goes to g7 check. Knight goes to take back the g7 bishop there, and now rook goes to h1, which is threatening, uh, trying to threaten the king and the pawn in front of the king at h7. Knight goes to d3 here, trying to, of course, make a significant attack, but I don't really try to do anything here. I just move my rook from d to g1, and of course the idea is to attack more. And here knight goes to take f4, and it's actually, I'm losing one more pawn here, but it's not that my position is bad. I give a material, but I am actually building up attacking position, and it will pay off. I mean, it does pay off to see that the pressure is there, and of course, I suppose if I'm lucky, it's gonna pay off by either a good checkmate position or a good pressure, or any mistakes that black can make because of the pressure, or as simple as, you know, any luck because of the time constraint or whatever it is. I mean, you know, you try your best. So rook goes to h2 here. Now, all the idea is suddenly coming to my mind to attack the pawn at h7. And of course, I have to sort of try to do this in a safe way. And this move is actually not to protect the knight at d2. It's just trying to develop my rook at h5. So h5 here, and what I did was and passant the pawn there, and I'm not sure if actually black knows that the en passant rule is there. So g takes h6, the passing pawn, and of course knight has to move itself from g to e6 there, trying to escape, of course. Now I move my pawn to h7. It's a mistake according to the engine, but I suppose it's alright because it's just trying to pressurize. I mean, if I just keep it there, it's not gonna really work that well, I suppose. So f6, knight goes to e4, and then of course the idea is rook to f7. I just simply don't like my rook there. So the pawn cannot be taken at h7, and I've got two knights at e and f, occupying the square um, at g5, and the pawn is pretty strong there, and I have a good menace, basically a good threat to sort of um, um, distract black's defense. So rook goes to g7. I'm not sure what the idea is here, but knight goes to h4. I believe this is a good move. I mean, black cannot take h7 straight away, because if black does take h7 using, say, the rook, for example, I simply do this check, and when this happens, I just take the rook, and black is winning. Sorry, black is losing a piece. All of a sudden, it's weak. Also, it cannot do something as like this, because I simply do a discover check, and black's rook is lost. So this intermediary move, shall I say it, is quite dangerous, and black has to reply carefully. So what black did was move the rook to d4, and from here I simply uh, I simply do I simply spot that there is a weakness of black. The weakness is the rook can be forked by moving my knight to f5. Can you see it? So I can do this, and then the rook is forked. But I don't want to do it straight away, because of course my knight is under fire. So I have to carefully do this by, for example, just, you know, moving this, taking that thing. So I exchange a pawn and a knight, I suppose, and then I think black realized this, but it's a blunder. So the response should be simply taking back, but it didn't do it. Instead, probably black realizes that, I can fork its rook, but it didn't sort of um, just let it go. Instead, it's just take the knight first. It didn't do that. Like, it should have let it go, because I just I just took a pawn, so I was down by 2 pawn is if this happened, and it's not that bad if I just take the rook um, from here, for example, like this. Black can just simply move his rook here, for example. And if I take this, oh, it's dangerous. Okay. Anyway, see, it's really dangerous, anyways. So yeah, basically, all the good pressure actually pays off, you know. So king cannot move there. I mean, black king cannot move. If it moves, it's gonna be disastrous. So simply just take the knight there. Knight takes knight, and I fork the rook there. Now rook from D goes to G4. I don't think it's a good move. Because I simply take this, and then rook takes G5. It's actually, I believe, not a good move as well, because should have taken with the knight, and then the knight can take the pawn straight away after that at G7, at H7, sorry. So didn't happen. Rook there goes there, and then I try to sort of, annoy the knight, exchange of pieces, and I believe I'm winning. I mean, look at this. All of a sudden, knight goes there. I took the pawn. Pawn goes there. Simply just, menacing around. So pawn goes there. C5, of course, dangerous. Goes there. King take it. King cannot move. Pawn, sorry, the knight cannot move. It's pinned. And see, king goes to G6. Blunder. Should have moved A6. I just take A6 now. Black's losing material. E5. Yeah, I can simply take the knight, but didn't. So rook just goes there at E, and then king goes to F6. It's very simple. Just take it, and then the rest is just endgame. It's very simple. Of course, king tries to do some stuff there, but yeah. So I win, I suppose, from here. The pass pawn is not chaseable, and of course black resign. So that's the end of the game. I hope you enjoy this. I mean, I suppose the most interesting part of the game was this part where in the middle game I sort of tried to pressurize black. Of course, black king was cornered at the edge of the board, and it's actually interesting because you never know, what happens if you try to pressurize and strategize. I mean, if you sort of flip the board and then see from the opponent's perspective, I mean, it's really dangerous. Look at that. What sort of psychological pressure that you have if you happen to sort of face this situation? You have to sort of, break through the jail and pressure pawn at h7. I mean, the pawn here, I suppose, worth the failure of a knight or something like that. So, go to school, kids. Go to school, pawns. As far as I'm concerned, if you move your pawn really forward, it sort of has more value, has more pressure, and people sort of try to take it, even to sacrifice their pieces just to sort of take the pawn, because it's dangerous. It can sort of, turn into queen, especially if it's actually at the 7th rank, or for black if it's at the second rank or the 7th rank. So I suppose this the beauty of the game. When this happened, I simply took the pawn there, and then all of a sudden black just realized that I can fork the rook. And when this happened, there are two ways of forking it. by going here, or by going here, by sort of going there. So it's interesting um, how you position your pieces, and I suppose I'm lucky in this sort of situation, and when this happens, of course, black makes mistakes and blunders. And here we go. A lot of pressure, exchange of pieces, and of course, end games. It's just precision and calculation, of course, and of course some tactical advantage as well. It did pay off, and I enjoyed. I suppose that's the end of my review. I hope you sort of learn something from this. I do learn that luck can be useful, and of course some tactical thinking, strategical thinking, and beautiful end game can lead you to a good winning, I suppose. So thank you so much for watching this, and I see you later.